Yo, welcome to Starlight Man channel. Hey, excuse me for my decrepit looking wall. You have to see that. But anyway, today's video is gonna be about we're gonna do it outside. Here, I might stand up, but that is pretty bad. Hold on. Alright, so look, like I said, right? Oh shit, what the hell is that? Let me see, let me back that thing up. Back that thing up right there, god damn it. Alright, where we gonna be at? We gonna be like right in here, right? Alright, look, so look, let me a little bit closer to the mic so you can hear me. Share and square. So look, welcome to Starlight Man channel. Today's gonna be an interesting video. It's not gonna be long because it's just a quick layout, but I'm gonna break down about dimensional astrology, right? Matter of fact, no, dimensional astronomy, right? Talk about the different levels of dimension, about it only being 9 dimensions, because anything you add after 9 is just an add-on to what already is, but in between 1 and 9. So for instance, this is when you get into, even when you do get to the concept of, like, say you say numerology. 22, okay, you would think that's a higher number than 9, right? But 2 plus 2 and 2 is what? 4. You see what I'm saying? So this is a higher version of that anyway. Like, it's always a derivative of something else. It's just adding more to it because there are more layers. There's millions and millions of layers inside of each layer. You see what I'm saying? But all these layers can be fit inside one whole thing. But anyway, moving on. Let's not get off topic. Cause I say that for another video. That's another day and stuff like that. But so, like I said, dimensional astronomy, right? So let's start it off through all the different dimensions. So for the one dimension, so this is dimension, different levels of dimensions, right? The one dimension, right? One dimensional beings would be like small atoms or small cells, right? Small atoms, small cells, etc. Once you get to 2 dimension, right? The second dimension, this will be like blood cells, or aka bigger cells, are sperm cells. Cells that are almost getting ready to be birthed out into whatever realm of reality of the being they're in. So whether you're a blood cell within a rabbit or a sperm cell within a rabbit, you're not that far. You're almost gonna get ready to be birthed out. Like, you're on that path of being birthed out. So they have a higher level of awareness, those cells, than the smaller atoms and the little small mitochondrial cells, or whatever you call them, little tiny ones, right? Because there's always life within life. And there's cells within cells, there's life within life. But that's, I just understand that's second dimension, right? Once you get into third dimension, this is anything that's third dimensional. Everything that's third dimensional. Trees, plants, insects, bugs, animals, even humans, right? And there's many different lives within that. Now think about the life of the blood cells that are inside of everything, and sperm cells that are inside of every living being, animal, creature, human, whatever, right? Now look at all these as little worlds, because when you was the size of a cell, look at all these different worlds and bodies that you could possibly inhabit as worlds. You could be, a cell could be in a rabbit, a cell could be, now granted you got to resonate with it, but a cell could be inside a rabbit, it could be inside a tiger, it could be inside a squirrel, it could be inside a raccoon, it could be inside a possum, it could be inside a bird, you see what I'm saying? It can see inside a kangaroo, there's just different levels of life. And granted, the bigger the animal, the bigger the level of life inside of it, to an extent, the more awareness, because it's bigger, it's got more perception. But at the same time, guess what? These are all still cells living within a certain level of dimension. And animals and all stuff like that. The bugs have beings within them too that are very, 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 very small levels. You see what I'm saying? To the point where a lot of them are one dimensional. But moving on, right? Moving on. And then remember, even in each dimension, there's always a higher and lower to it. Even in, like, say you take a fourth dimension. Let's just say third dimension, because we're on third dimension, right? We're still on third dimension. So even looking at third dimension, all these beings, all these bodies are beings in the third dimension. Bugs, animals, plants, humans, animals, all that stuff like that, right? Goats, humans, all that. But guess what? There's different levels in the third dimension. So even though it's all still one realm, one dimension, there's still different levels in the dimension. That's why some people like to say it's more than just 9. But I'm here to say that all of them can be put inside of still one realm. Like, for instance, you may look at the level of existence of a rabbit may not be as intelligent as the level of existence of a lion, because a lion has more awareness. It has more broader awareness to an extent. You see what I'm saying? But they're all still 3D. They're all still in this particular dimension. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at a bug, see, like I say, a big ass spider, right? A big ass spider. A big spider, the cells, the way that it perceives life, it's third dimension, so it can perceive some things, but it can't perceive and see things through its retinas and its eyes and its brain through the small amount of brain that it has compared to the way a dog or a lion can or a tiger can. A tiger has more perception of awareness in the reality. It sees more of the picture. It makes out more of the realm that it's in. Whereas the tarantula still has as a perspective. It still can see this world in third dimension to an extent, but it's not fully on that. It can't fully. You see what I'm saying? It don't fully see it as much as we do, or a being that's higher than it, or a being that's more has more awareness. You see what I'm saying? That it's in the more sophisticated vehicle, aka a better vehicle, a higher vehicle, which would be a lion, or which would be a tiger, or a bear, or a dog, or of course a human, because we're the highest level of existence here. You see what I'm saying? In the third dimension. So I basically break it down to say even within each dimension, there's levels within life, and there's levels to each dimension too. It's not just one thing and that's it. No, no, no. There's levels in each dimension, all the way from a tarantula, or let's just use a small little critter, a little small little vermin, right? A little vermin, a little rodent, compared to a big ass lion, a big tiger. You see what I'm saying? Not even getting to humans, just keeping it in the animal kingdom. Look at that big range of awareness. That's a big range from what a rodent and a rat see in this perception, all the way to a lion's perception is a little bit more closer. You see what I'm saying? To a higher awareness, and then using say a tarantula to a human. We both third dimensional, but that's a huge jump. Because a lot of these, and even like bees, that's still third dimension because you can see it, right? Anything you can see that's tangible in this realm, that's third dimension. You see it with this the way that we see it. Check it out though. Bees don't even see the same light of color we do. They see ultraviolet light. Dogs, they don't even see, they can piece out their awareness a little bit, but they don't even see the same level of colors and hues and see the whole picture the way we see it, to break down the way that we break down all these colors and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So every level is different. You see what I'm saying? And then there's certain beings, aka certain animals, that come from certain spaces spiritually that got manifested here, that have other abilities that other animals don't have. We as humans have all these abilities. It just come down to what we are more in tune with. Some humans, even in the human level, there's levels even in just the human. You have humans that are very dumb and don't know much. You have humans that don't have that a certain level of awareness. They're not aware of themselves. They're not aware of their spirit. They're not aware of them as an individual. They're not aware of what's going on. They're not tapped into their brain, into the full potential that they can use. You see what I'm saying? They're using the minimalist amount of it. And then you got some humans that are very advanced, very intelligent, very smart. They got a lot of knowledge. They're very consciously aware. They may be spiritual. They may be very much more in tune, very creative, can use more of their brain. They have more attributes, more abilities. See what I'm saying? So they're on a higher level as a human. They're on their way up out of here, aka to a higher dimension after this, because they done not learn a lesson, but they're ready to graduate this dimension and go into the next one, aka they're got big enough as a spirit and they're ready to ascend to the next one because they have mastered this realm, you know what I'm saying? Or beat this realm is best way to say it. Kind of look at it like a game, but see, that's kind of how I look at it like. But anyway, not there's nothing to play with because remember our spirits is serious and life is not a joke. But sometimes we gotta learn to loosen up. But anyway, so that's the third dimension, right? And I broke that down clearly. So once you get to fourth dimensional would be as far as the actual, because I'm talking about astronomy, right? As far as the actual being that people point to, will be like asteroids. When you look at asteroids, like even when we look at astrology and they have like different asteroids, because they say the asteroids are just as powerful, if not even more powerful than some of the planets, because they're closer. I think they're either closer to us in relativity or whatever, which makes sense. Because whatever is closest to you is going to be influencing you more. That's why even though the moon is so small, it is more powerful to us than, let's say, something else out there. You see what I'm saying? Like our emotions and feelings, even though the moon is a smaller deity than, let's say, Neptune. Neptune is farther out, so this is not as powerful. Like, is even as far as it is out, it's still very powerful, like with imagination, but it don't hold as much weight as, like, say, the moon to us, because the moon is closer to us. But now if Neptune, as big as it is, was to us, then that would be a whole nother story. But anyway, which talk about the age of Pisces and all that stuff too. But anyway, moving on. So look, the exact body of celestial body that you will be pointed to would be like an asteroid. Now, we're not saying that these actual things are always real, because sometimes NASA be giving y'all stuff that don't even be physically, tangibly real, but the concept still exists because there's an energy, I believe, that they're pointing to when they're talking about these things. And so when you look at it, that's the being that you will be pointed to as a fourth dimensional, be like asteroid. But just understand in general, don't even worry about that. Just know fourth dimensional beings is like oversouls, right? Oversouls are beings that are over anything, any name and title, in any area, space, and location. So like when people be like, there's a spirit over this place, there's a spirit over that place, that's true. Each city you go into, the reason why it feels different is because you're going into a different space. A different space is different spaces, like a different spirit. You see what I'm saying? There's always space within space. Like even if you take the Los Angeles County, that's one particular oversoul. Los Angeles County as a whole is one particular oversoul, and then you got the many bodies that's in it. You see what I'm saying? Um, like you got like you might got Inglewood, that section. You might have Los Angeles just itself, it's the city, that section. You might have Compton or something. I'm just giving out different examples. I'm not 100% sure where I'm just breaking it up down. Or just use any county that you can think of. Not to be specific or nothing like that, but any county, that's one particular being. Any city, that's one particular being. Any country, that's one particular being. Any state, that's one particular being. Any continent, that's one big particular being. And then there's many lives within inside of it. Just like I just brought down with us being in the third dimension, we human vessels, animals, whatever. We are one being, right? We're the overall spirit in us, in our parameter. You are our spirit. We are our spirits, right? But then we also have life within life. You got many cells within you, one-dimensional cells. You got bigger cells about to be getting ready to be birthed out, or that have more influence in your body, like blood cells. And this come down to the way your blood moves. This is why the way your blood moves affects your state of being and what you think and all that stuff like that. But that's getting ahead of the game. But just like sperm cells, all those are bigger beings too. You see what I'm saying? And then you got your actual organs. Your organs are actual beings, believe it or not. You are not your organs. You have control and authority over these things, but they still have a mind of their own. That's why when your stomach is upset, you can't control that. You see what I'm saying? If it's something going down with you or like that, you can't control that. Now, the more you feed it, the more attention you give to it, that's the more energy, that's more your influence you're giving it to it. So hopefully you can help it and you can have more control that way. But in general, these are things on their own. Like your reproductive organ, you're not telling it, oh, okay, produce, produce, produce. It does it on its own. Now, the more energy you give to it when you do different things, you can boost that. But that's as far as it goes. You see what I'm saying? But you do have domain over these things, but they also have a mind of their own. That's the best way to say it. Even when you talk about your brain ain't even the mind. Your mind is something that's actually etheric and non-tangible. The mind signals down to the brain. You see what I'm saying? The mind is like a metaphysical version of the brain. You see what I'm saying? And you control the mind and you send signals to the actual brain. But the brain still be doing stuff on its own all the time with rewiring and all that stuff like that and habits and all that stuff. But that's like I said, that's another video. But that's understanding that there's always life within life. So that's what oversouls are. And oversouls deal with thoughts, concepts, and ideas. Anything dealing with thoughts, like thoughts, thinking, analyzing, that's oversoul energy. So anything that affecting your thoughts or how you thinking, these are fourth dimension. Like your thoughts are actual fourth dimensional beings. I know it sounds crazy, but this is fourth dimensional. Like if you say right now I'm gonna think about a yellow park, like that's the actual thought form. That concept of an idea, whatever spirit orchestrated that idea, that's the spirit that you're actually thinking about. But it's like I ain't trying to go too deep because we're just trying to break down these concepts. But just understand fourth dimensional beings are like thoughts, concepts, and all these things are oversouls. You see what I'm saying? So anything with a name and title. I know it sounds, even if you say pizza, it sounds crazy, right? But even with pizza, there's a certain oversoul over pizza. I know you thinking like, oh, just the pizza man? No, nigga, that's not what we're saying. We're saying the first person that ever created pizza. That would be the intellectual property, aka that's why we call it intellectual property. The first person that came up with the idea of pizza. So he probably done died and gone now. But his spirits, he still rule over the authority of the energy of pizza. So all the pieces that are being oh damn, hold on. All right, I think I'm back. All the pieces that are being made and the way that they're being made, everybody else that has a thought after that is just adding on to that original idea of pizza, the original concept of pizza anyway. So they help expand that. I'm pretty sure it's a him, but it could be a woman. That pizza is, I might be a female, I don't know. Is expanding the parameter of that overall spirit. Well, that was the first one to make pizza. You see what I'm saying? Because it reigns intellectual property over that. And that's how fourth dimensional energy goes. Now I'm going to hurry up because I got 20% left. But let me hurry up and get through these. So that's oversoul concept. So anything with a name, title, there's a spirit over that. If it's got a name and title, it's a spirit over that. And remember, they also rule over certain, like oversouls also, which fourth dimension also rule over different geographical locations. Each city, state, town, that's an oversoul energy to it. There's life within life. Same way we have life within life. Oh, they mean to put on the Pyrex. All right, but you see what I'm saying? That's how that goes. So moving on, our fifth dimensional being, this one's deep. Fifth dimensional being is dealing with The fifth dimensional is dealing with the emotions and feelings. So anytime you think of you like in your moods, vibrations, emotions and feelings, your state of being, anything dealing with how you feel, that's fluid. That's your vibration. So that's dealing with fifth dimensional energy. And the actual celestial body that this deals with is planets. Like planets are like as fifth dimensional energy. That's why in astrology, each planet deal with a certain type of feeling and emotion to an extent. Now they may have other what's that word? They may have other attributes that contribute to them in the sense of what got birthed out of that emotion, the feeling that they was in. But overall, they deal with um emotions and feelings. You see what I'm saying? Um, so anytime you emotions and feelings is fifth dimensional energy. Now moving on, Sixth dimensional energy will be your ability to either direct or receive energy. Your ability to push out or receive energy. It also deals with your conscious awareness. So, but that's ability, that's conscious awareness, that's like light. That's the ability to be known for something, to be seen for something, the energy that you can give off. This is why in astrology, the sun represents your what? Your actions, your influence, your ability to be seen. It's anything dealing with light. So like anything, it's a lot dealing with the sixth dimension to be honest, but it's like anything dealing with aura, right? You listening to me? Anything dealing with aura, anything dealing with um or your orb, the light that you give off, being seen a certain type of way, your glow, your energy, your energetic currency, anything dealing with, like I said, conscious awareness and what you're consciously aware of, um, anything dealing with your imagination, because this is all from a light. You see what I'm saying? This is star energy. You see what I'm saying? And this is what sixth dimensional deal with. And like I said, the celestial body that the sixth dimensional deal with are suns and stars, because the sun is just a star, but the sun is just our star. You see what I'm saying? And so stars are sixth dimensional beings. Now moving on. Like I said, the ability to direct or give energy. The more energy I got, the more energy I can give out. The more energy I can give out, the more energy I can receive. You see what I'm saying? Boom. Now, seventh dimensional energy, because I'm gonna make it fast. Seventh dimensional being energy is will be a solar system. You see what I'm saying? And they rule a certain whole space in sphere in the spheric realm as far as solar systems, because they on a higher level. You see what I'm saying? Things work in threes. You got 1, 2, and third dimension. That's one realm, because you got the smaller cells that are within you. Then you got the bigger cells like the blood cells and sperm cells that are there, not too far from getting birthed up out of you anyway. And then you're a third dimensional being. But guess what? Y'all all are still in one realm, one being. You see what I'm saying? One realm. And then once you get to fourth, fifth, sixth dimension, it's the same thing over and over again, but you're in a higher sphere now. You see what I'm saying? And then once you get to seventh, eighth, and ninth dimension, that's an even higher sphere. That's what they call the godly sphere. This is what the Bible refers to when they're talking about the three heavens and the third heaven, which really is the first heaven, because everything got birthed and born out from the spirit realm, that would actually be the real spirit realm. The in the middle is the fourth or sixth dimension. That's the soul realm, or aka known as the yin realm, or the astral realm, or the dream world. And then down here is the physical world. But remember, the highest one is actually the real spirit world, with the galaxies and all stuff like that, and celestial, all that stuff. But before we get into that, because some of that stuff could be said for another video too, let me get back to it. So a solar system basically controls, as far as it rules a whole spirit space in that higher celestial realm, because it's on a higher level now. You see what I'm saying? So it's playing out certain types of energies, almost you could say oversoul energies, but in a higher realm. You see what I'm saying? But on a higher realm that don't deal with the same things like thoughts and thinking and feeling the same way that we deal with them at all. It's a whole different some stuff. And that's hard to perceive to an extent, because it's higher dimension. The higher dimension you go, the harder it's perceived. A lot of people can't even fully perceive fifth dimension. A lot of people so dumb, they can't even, I ain't to say dumb, but a lot of people so shallow and dense, they can't even fully perceive fourth dimensional energies, let alone fifth dimensional energies, which we all have access to, but people don't fully understand it. So some people, it'll be hard for them if they're not spiritual or understanding what's actually going on and really understand either energy, numerology, or just other energies in general. They're not gonna always understand these higher levels of dimensions, but we all have the ability to, and we all have these energies within us. Understand that, just on smaller levels. The higher you go, the more smaller level you have access to it. So that's the solar system. Now moving on, eighth dimensional being will be a galaxy. And to me, I personally think I think galaxies and nebulas are like in the same realm. I could be wrong, but I want to say they're like in the same realm. But it depends. Like I said, there's different levels within levels. Like I said, even in one dimension, like the third dimension, all these beings, bugs, bugs, animals, humans are all still third dimensional, but there's different levels in just the third dimension itself. So it's the same thing with eighth dimensional. Then you got galaxies, and I believe there's nebulas, because there's certain nebulas that are smaller than certain galaxies, but then there's certain galaxies that are smaller than certain nebulas, and you have certain big nebulas that be bigger than other galaxies. You know what I'm saying? So it all comes down to your actual size and the parameter that it's around. But overall, I want to say those two, and there's other ones too that I don't remember the exact name. But like basically galaxies in general, like galaxies, nebulas, mainly galaxies, galactic energies, all that stuff like that is eighth dimensional, and they rule over a whole space in that realm. Now you might not understand it, but that's in a higher realm, a very higher realm. They rule over that whole space. You see what I'm saying? That whole parameter in that realm. So they will play out, if you, as I think personally, they play out the same way fifth dimensional beings play out as planets to us. In the third dimension, I think galaxies play out as planets or worlds or planets or realms or worlds to the sixth dimensional being, because we in the third dimension, we're the highest level. We are the highest in this particular realm. Sixth dimension is the same thing as us, but in a higher realm. So the sixth dimension will be the equivalent to us in a higher realm of the one above us. And then once you get to the realm above that, I believe eighth dimensional being, aka a galaxy or whatever, will be like a world or a planet to the sixth dimensional beings. You see what I'm saying? You got many different galaxies and all that stuff. And then, like I said, they rule over all that. They rule over the whole rotation. Oh, that's the best way to say it. Galaxies rule over whole rotations of stars in that space. They rule over the whole, cause like one galaxy can host up to what, a million, billion stars, up to like a trillion stars. I think Andromeda got like a trillion stars, which is, we know these things aren't always 100% the way, but I'm just breaking it down because there's still a sense of that energy exists for us to have the thought and concept of it, so we can make sense out of it to understand higher dimensional energies in the first place. I don't let people get lost into these things, but there is a certain reference to certain things that they can help you to understand what's actually going on a higher level. A lot of people just don't unaware of it, but that's the eighth dimensional galaxies, nebulas, galaxies, whatever, galactic energy, whatever. And then ninth dimensional beings is like verses, right? Verses. So when you think of like the universe, or you think about verses, like the actual beings that I think that they point into when you talk about verses, I think are like superclusters and and superclusters and beyond. Like even like what they say, the biggest known celestial figure that they say mankind, quote unquote, because we know they be lying about stuff, so I don't be getting too lost to it, but quote unquote what they say is like the Hercules Great Wall of Hercules, something like that. It's this big, and it's like a really huge, I would have to show it to you if you don't understand, but it's like a really huge structure that it houses all the different superclusters. So basically what a supercluster is the same way how how you got like solar systems, right? And you got galaxies, but inside of that galaxy, there's like thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of solar systems in one galaxy. That's a supercluster is like the equivalent of that. It's got thousands to hundred thousands to millions of galaxies in it. And then the being the Hercules Borealis Great Wall, whatever you call that huge structure, is a structure that got thousands or hundreds of superclusters within it. You see what I'm saying? Or I don't know how many, but it got multiple superclusters within it. So it's always life within life. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And that's what a supercluster was. I'm just breaking it down to you. And I believe these are all versions of bigger, smaller, and mini versions, and higher versions and bigger versions of a verse. The same way I say there's different levels of life in one dimension, I personally think that's all the same thing. I think that's all dealing with the verse. Just, and even if it's not 100% but like they're saying, that concept in general is, I think, what they be pointing to is these things. But understand that as a ninth dimensional being, aka a verse, you have totality of wisdom over all dimensions, because you have super maxed out all realms of realities in your universal space. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the best way to say it. Because there's many space within spaces. You went from just the world that you in, the planet that you in, like we in Earth. So if you master this realm, you learn everything that's in it. You learn how to nurture your body, have health. You learn how to everything dealing with, the attributes that we have here, internally and externally. You mastered that. Then once you get born out of that and you go into a higher world, you may be in or around a certain star. You mastered that. Then from a solar system level, you mastered that. Then from a galactic level, when you will start living in those worlds, you mastered everything, you see what I'm saying? And then you, all the way to the point you end up mastering all the different levels of life, the realms of life, and then you become what you consider like an actual God. But it's not looked at like that. But the energy that we look at as God is that energy itself. But people get lost into what the term God, because the term God that people be born into ain't really the real term of God. God just means a spirit that either that energy is bigger or broader or over all the things that it's in, or just a spirit that did something before you, so it's the master of that, of whatever, of that realm, or the master of whatever you see what I'm saying, in at the moment. That's all it is. So the God is just the most broadest expanded spirit. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. But it's not what people point to as far as um ruling, authority, law, all that stuff, nigga. That came after the fact, dude. That's why the same people that all these attributes that they give to their quote unquote God and religion, it's all the attributes of the white man. It's all the attributes of the powers that be. It's all attributes of the government with law and stuff like that. Don't y'all see in y'all face that's the same people? So don't tell me about you being spiritual. Don't tell me about you hard and you spiritually and you inclined and you so all this and that and you can't even see that. And with that note, much love to all y'all that's here for the knowledge. Um, Y'all be great. Y'all stay spiritually inclined. Y'all stay spiritually protected. Y'all stay spiritually safe. And y'all keep your head up, man. Peace, love.